What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Second Avenue Podcast. I'm your host, Jonathon.
I'm your other host, Elijah Venencia. Let's start it off. How did your fantasy football team do last week? I know
0
we
and
we
3,
were
baby.
like recorded halfway through, so
0 and 3, baby. Was not looking good when we recorded. And I think it got even worse. None of the games were even really close. I didn't even break 80 points in one league. It was bad. That was the only week I haven't broken 100, though. Every other week I've had like 110 at least. So, whatever happens. Jonathan Taylor was out, although he's been like pretty bad or mid all season. So, hoping he comes back, pops off for me. We'll see. I need a bounce back week though. Need at least 2 dubs this week.
definitely. I went 1-1, but I'm very hopeful. So, Damian Pierce, he is just a monster. I was huge on him in both leagues, so scooped him up in both at good value, especially for a top 10 running back. And then this other league, they like this. So the league is $100 buy-in, $1,000 payout. It is the people in it, they were choosing like running backs like nuts, like going crazy. I've never been a big running back guy, so I always wait to grab running back. So Damian Pierce has been popping off. I chose Najee. Najee's not doing too hot,
Mm-hmm.
but I've been sitting on Kenneth Walker for the Seahawks because I knew Rashad Penny was going to get hurt as he always does, and
Valid.
Kenneth Walker had about 15 points last week, and he looks like he's going to be the lead back for the rest of the year. So hopefully that pays off and pays huge dividends there.
Yeah, I think it's always great to get that like deep cut. I'll put it in music terms, but to find that deep cut that you love that shows up big for you. Like my first ever or maybe second year playing fantasy football, it was Devontae Freeman when he was in the Falcons and he just started popping off. He had like 3 touchdowns one game. Like the first game, he really popped off, and I was like, I played him. Oh, it was beautiful because I had never played him until that week, and he popped off for me. So it's always great, but it's wild that you're not like a big running back guy. I am a big running back guy. I
Oh yeah,
focus running backs.
yeah, no, it's a bad strategy. I mean,
You
that's
think?
why that's why I'm a top player in the league every year because I'll grab a running back at good value, but I'm not going to be like I like this year I had the number 4 pick I think, and I was like I'm choosing Justin Jefferson or Cooper Cup. I'm not taking Derrick Henry,
Oh
Najee
no, I
Harris.
in that spot I'm taking Justin Jefferson
I
as
I
well.
still think at 1 I wouldn't have taken Jonathan Taylor. I think I would have taken one of those two still.
Really?
Um, Yeah, I mean, it's obviously it's worked well. I obviously try and never pick at the one position because I hate that pick. So
I've had good experiences with it in the past. This is really the first year it's been bad for me. But every other year I've gotten, Antonio Brown or Christian McCaffrey. So I've always enjoyed having the one spot. I like it because then, you get that back to back later on. I also really like whatever the last pick is because then you get those
mhm.
two pretty good
Yeah, no,
players.
that I don't like it. It's not that I don't want a premier top tier talent because I mean that's almost guaranteed every year. But it's I don't like waiting that long to pick again.
That's valid. I definitely prefer last. In our league, I had the choice. I think I had like the third choice, and I think somebody took like 8 and like 4 maybe. So I was like, whatever, I'm gonna take 1, I guess. But I love 8 just because like I would rather get 2 players that are maybe to get like 18 versus like a
Mhm.
22. Like
Yeah,
that is just great, great value, I think.
yeah. So I mean, this year in our league, I went Kelsey with like Kelsey's like my 17th pick, and then number 4 is Justin Jefferson, and like those are two top tier players there. So
That's
that's
valid.
obviously paid off. So
I've never gone big on a tight end. I've never had one of like the big dog tight
I
ends.
always prioritize tight end.
I like that. I thought this was going to be the year with Kyle Pitts, but
It's such a
that hasn't
yeah.
been the case so far.
No, I will always have a top 5 tight end at least, just because it's such a premium, and especially this year more than most because there it's just really Travis Kelsey than the field. Zach Ertz used to be a monster though back on the Eagles back in the day.
Valid. I think I do have Zach Ertz in one of my leagues, and
He was a PPR machine.
he's solid. Yeah, I like a good tight end though. So hopefully Kyle Pitts turns it around.
Yeah, you have to hit me for the tight ends because I always pick a good breakout tight end. So
That's valid. Yeah, I got to tap in with that. Our other thing we got to talk about before we get into today's topic, we just posted on Instagram a little bit late this week. We posted today on Wednesday, which is when we're recording. It's a little bit early in the week. Got some stuff going on this weekend. Both of us do. So I had to knock out the episode a little bit earlier. So kind of light news week so far, light release week, but we'll get into everything. But we did just post on Instagram today a little recap of all the concerts and stuff we went to. You know, had some ASAP Rocky, some Nicki Minaj, Pusha T, Jack Harlow, a picture of Cole Bennett. You know, shout to Lyrical Lemonade, a good event. But the most just out there video has to be the last slide. If you haven't seen this, you didn't swipe through, go back, go to that last slide. If you've listened last week, you know that there was an individual that, you know, dare I say, ruined the night.
Attempted to.
She tried to ruin the night. She was loud, she was annoying, she was pushy, and she was a big old Babytron fan. I love Babytron. You love Babytron. I don't know what word I would use for her, but it exceeds love somehow.
I
She
mean,
was screaming at the top of her lungs. And if you want to hear it and relate even just a little bit, you cannot relate to the feeling of getting pushed pretty far back. You're not up in the front, you're back getting pushed around, but you can relate to hearing this girl and her piercing voice just make my ears bleed.
I just keep going back to the point, we've seen huge people, I've seen J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Travis Scott. I've never seen anyone act like that for them and for Babytron.
It was wild.
That's the point that trips me up.
It is wild. The person that I would have thought maybe would have got a reaction like that would be The Weeknd. I saw The Weeknd. I feel like the girls would go crazy for him,
Yeah.
and I'm sure they did, but they weren't like
No,
that.
and that's expected even. Like, okay, even for one of the people I just mentioned. Okay, it's expected for some people to be that way, but
Not like that.
I just she needed one of those posters. Babytron saved my life.
I just want to know, like, is she a day one Babytron fan? She has to be. I just don't know what
I
her
just
tie to Babytron is, but she was the
we
biggest Babytron fan I've ever encountered in the wild.
and we were like, me and you were like, chill the fuck out, and she was like, it's Babytron. Like she doubled down.
I just would love for that girl to somehow stumble upon that video, and I would just love to see if she's like embarrassed or she like doubles down. If I
I think
saw a
she's
video of
doubling
my,
down.
I think so too. She's like, I saw fucking Babytron in the flesh.
She's like, can you send me that?
Yeah, probably.
Post it on
If
her
I saw
Snap.
that of
This is how
myself,
crazy I was going.
yeah, she's like, my king was going crazy. The Prince of the Mint was popping off. If I saw a video of myself acting like that, I don't think I'd ever go to a concert again. If I did, I would dramatically change my behavior. And I don't think that's the case for her. I think if she saw that, she would be like, I had a good ass time at that Lyrical Lemonade concert. I might have ruined the night for two budding podcasters and rap fans, but it's whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. Some good news on that post. That ASAP Rocky pick was cold. Every time I see it, I'm like, God damn.
I had to show you some love. I had to put it on the first slide of the post. It was hard. I thought that one was going to look the best on the feed. I really love my video of Pusha T though, just because it's so close, such good
Yeah,
quality.
no, that was a good ass video too.
But I was like, I'm gonna throw a second. And then the video of ASAP Rocky coming out right next to you, I was like, that's got to be there. Honestly, I didn't watch like all the videos you sent until today. So like the one you put of Nikki, I was like, oh, that was pretty.
That
good.
was good. It was a good moment. Despite everything that happened,
they were all good. Every video in there was pretty good. Some were a little bit shaky and whatever, but that's to be expected. We don't have professional equipment, whatever. There were iPhones in the crowd, but it was solid. I enjoyed that post.
My only complaint is you didn't crop any of the time. Every time I bring it back down,
I don't know. Yeah,
those made the cut.
I
should have cropped them.
I should have, but that was kind of whatever.
Yeah, not the end of the world. It's worth seeing the video and then dealing with that at the end. So
yeah, but I think it's time. We got to get into it. It is Aux Battle number 4. It's been a while since we've done one. 4th of July was the day the last one dropped. And if you've been following us for a minute, you know how that one went. Elijah, what were your thoughts on last Aux Battle?
I mean, I think that I was really true to my picks there, and I chose what truly I thought of, and I can't be mad at a loss for that. So, but I'm just here to get it back. Let's tie up the series.
That's valid. Yeah. I took it very personally when I lost my first one. So I understand how you're feeling right now.
I can see why I lost that one, but I could also see how I could, won that one as well. But it's all right. I'm moving past it. I moved past it July 5th. I sat on it for
Uh,
a day and moved on.
yeah, I definitely was the exact same way when I lost the first one. I had some garbage ass picks, some picks that weren't even true to how I was feeling. And so when I lost, I was like, man, that sucks, but like I get it. And I vowed to never lose again. So we'll see. I mean, obviously, I don't think I'm not going to go whatever in one. I'm going to lose a couple more, I'm sure, before it's all said and done. But I'm going to make sure my picks are elite. And I think I came with some strong picks this week. So
Definitely. I mean,
ready to get
I'm in
into
the
it.
same boat there. So let's
All
get
right,
into it.
let's get it. Let's run through the categories real quick before we get started. The first category is, it's spooky season. So we're going to go with a spooky instrumental, a little instrumental that makes you feel a little like it's Halloween time. Then, second category, we talk about fantasy football at the start of the episodes right now, so had to go with a football reference. Then, a song with no feature. Then, a 2022 hit, a song by an artist with 1 million monthly listeners or less, a song on an album Pitchfork rated below a 5, and a song with a red album cover. It's going to be a good one.
Let's get into it.
All right, first category, a song with a spooky instrumental. What was your pick here?
I went with Half Blood Prince by Babytron. I feel like that is the perfect one there. Off the Ben Reaper series that comes out every Halloween or every October. So I mean, I associate that beat with spookiness instead of Harry Potter. I've never watched Harry Potter, so
That's a valid pick. It did cross my mind, but I associate it more with Harry Potter.
mhm.
So it's just like I love Harry Potter. That's like a warm feeling for me. So it's not necessarily spooky, but I do get the vibe that it gives off. I went with 5% Tint by Travis Scott.
Ooh, that's a good one there.
It's a kind of menacing beat. Who's that anchoring in my window? It's nice. Uh yeah, I made a playlist a while back and it was like just for a Halloween night and it had this on it. And so I was looking back and I was like, okay, this was be a hit. There was a lot of other ones that I was, considering. I thought anything off of Without Warning would have been a really good pick here. That's like a Halloween classic just because of it dropped on Halloween. So I was kind of debating going with something off that, but ultimately with Travis, just because when I hear that beat, it kind of is a little creepy beat. Like it's a sample, it's a beautiful sample, great song. So yeah, that's my pick.
I like that one a lot. I feel like you were a lot more. That was your category that you chose. You were a lot more prepared for it. With your Halloween playlist. So
That was really the only one that I was prepared for. So don't expect anything like that good. But yeah, I thought that was a good one. Let's move on to the next round. A song with a football reference in it.
I went with Smuckers by Tyler the Creator with the Kanye West bar, the specific one here. You can't lynch Marshawn if Tom Brady thrown to me.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. We sent our picks to our producer Devin beforehand, and I'm gonna be honest. I switched after I sent to him. I sent him a different track, but I ended up switching to Smuckers because I was like, "There's no way you're gonna pick that." So I'll return to my original pick, but I love that pick. So if you win on that one, I'm not gonna be mad. That's a great line. That was the one that I was gonna go with. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna have to go back to my original pick, which is "So Appalled." With you got the Sci-Hi the Prince line where he says, "Got a Trojan in my pocket," Matt Leinart. I love that
Ooh,
line.
that
I think that's a
is.
hard bar. So
It's
yeah.
like it's that one's just like very that I feel like So Appalled's got a lot of beats going on and everything, but it's just his vocals there essentially. So
Uh-huh.
that's like a singled out bar there.
I just love that line. I think it just obviously you got the football, pocket passer, all that kind of stuff. But you also got the double entendre with, it could be a Trojan condom in the pocket. So that's a great line. I love that line so much.
USC Trojan too.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot of levels to that. I just saw a video of Matt Leinart going around campus at USC asking people who was the quarterback during the Bush push play or who was the quarterback that wore whatever number he wore at USC. I don't remember.
7.
7. That's what I thought. Yeah, because Reggie Bush was 5. So yeah, he was going around asking basically if people knew who he was. And some were like, "Oh yeah, you," and some, but most had no idea. So had to show
Matt
some love
Leiner's
with
a
his.
legend.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
Heisman Trophy winner.
yeah. He was him for a while. He was solid in the NFL for a while too.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll stop you there. But
He was
moving on.
okay. He was
Moving
okay.
on.
He
He's
wasn't
a bust.
him.
He's a bust.
Yeah, but he was like all right.
He's a bust. Moving on though, we have a song with no feature.
Okay. Here I went with Hooligan by Baby Keem.
Yeah, I was really interested because this is such a broad category. There's
It
going to be
is.
so many songs. And you know what automatically came to mind? Not the song, but the man, the artist, the man who,
Jermaine.
yeah, who just can't stop going platinum with no features. Obviously, you know it's a little bit different now. They've got Dreamville and everything. But I went with "A Tale of Two Cities" by J. Cole.
That's a good pick.
Yeah,
That's
I didn't know the vibe you're going, so I didn't go no role models or like change or something off for your eyes only. But so I just went with a fucking slapper.
that's a good pick. I like my pick. I listen to Baby Keem more than I listen to J. Cole personally. So this is like a more on brand pick for myself. But I really love that pick because J. Cole is the no feature artist. So that feels
Yeah,
like a very good like representation of the category.
definitely. Moving on though, we have a 2022 hit.
This is one of the biggest songs of the year, but it's still one of my favorite songs of the year. One of the songs I'm bumping the most, one of the artists I'm bumping the most. I went with Bad Habit by Steve Lacy.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I went a little different direction. I got to go show one of some love. Free Gunna. I went with P Power.
That's a great track. I could see that. That's a toss up. There's a lot of different,
That's
appeal
like
to both those songs,
which
but
vibe are you looking for?
exactly. Those are both totally different songs, but I really love both those songs, honestly. So, yeah, I'm excited to see how that one goes. Let's move on to the next category, though. We have a song by an artist with under 1 million monthly listeners on Spotify.
You had mentioned earlier about producer Dev. We sent him through the picks and everything. We both had went with the same pick here. We went with Fago Dreams by Six Dogs. So RIP Six
RP.
Dogs. Yeah, we wanted to show some love for Devin. We were doing it for the same reason there. But with my pick, I went with Glock 19 by Amir Van.
Ooh, okay. That's a good pick. I like that's an underrated, album, underrated song. I like that. Okay. That's could be it could be interesting. I went with Dr. Birds by Griselda. This, maybe we'll say an asterisk because it's the group. The group had like 600,000 monthly listeners, something like that.
Yeah.
So it is definitely under the threshold. Obviously, the individual members have a little more, but this is underrated. Dr. Birds told Virgil, "Write brick on my brick." I mean, that's one of the hardest lines of all time. Yeah, Dr.
Yeah,
Birds.
I didn't know how I wanted to go with Fago Dreams because I didn't know how I wanted to play it. Do I want something that some people are gonna know, or do I kind of want to try and put people on a little bit? So
Mm-hmm.
while you're listening to Glock 19, go listen to the rest of Emmanuel by Amir Van. Great project.
Facts. I was really excited for the Fago Dreams pick because I just played it when we were playing basketball on Sunday night, and it got some love. People were like, I haven't heard this in a minute. I was like, I listen to this pretty often. Like I still listen
Yeah,
to
and
Six Dogs a
that
lot.
was a so that's why I had chosen it because someone was like, "Who sings this?" Other we were just riding around, like, "Who sings that?" I was like, oh, "Okay," gave him the little gist of it. So
Yeah, big Six Dogs guy, been a big Six Dogs guy. So I wanted to show him some love in this Aux battle, but tough that we
we
both had the
did,
same
yeah, we
idea.
did, yeah.
But we showed
We
him some love either way. So yeah, I really wanted to have like a more underground pick, and this is probably the most underground pick on my list. So glad I got the Griselda boys some love on here. This, it's featured on 2K and stuff. So like it is I feel like it's a decently well known song, but it's also like some people probably have no idea who it's by or the song in general. So yeah. All right, next round we have a song on an album that Pitchfork rated below a 5.
This one was tough. I didn't know what I wanted to pick. I feel like there's like a good amount of options, but you're also limited as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of went with like a banger. So I was Lil Wayne. I was thinking, he's had some forgettable albums, in the late 2010s, early to late 2010s. So we have from "I'm Not a Human Being" to "Love Me" by Lil Wayne featuring Drake and Future.
It's a good track. I don't really listen to it too much anymore, but I did see that album was rated
That Future
below.
is, yeah, it's just so
So
iconic.
yeah, that's a
That
good
Future
song.
hook's nice.
That is. I have very strong memories of listening out on the way to high school basketball games, like when I was a freshman or sophomore or whatever.
Mhm.
So I like that. But I think you're gonna like my pick here. This was a great find. I dug a little bit here. You'll never guess what album Pitchfork rated a 1.0. Blue Slide Park by Mac Miller.
Okay, yeah, I knew that one got a lot of hate. I just didn't think about choosing it honestly. I knew that was
So
like crazy low though.
I went with Smile Back.
Okay, we're in different vibes here.
Definitely different vibes, but
Really close in time period though, like
I
weirdly.
yeah, when you were talking about like, an early 2010s banger, I was like, okay, you're kind of talking about mine too here a little bit. So yeah, Mac Miller. I feel like he finds his way onto a lot of my lists. I feel like he's a great option on the aux, depending on the vibe. And so yeah, Smile Back was my pick here.
I like that one. Finishing it off here, we have a red album cover track.
So there's only one Red Album cover. You know what I mean? Like in my mind, this is the right answer. And that's a song off of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy by Kanye West. Almost feels like cheating to pick one off it. So I didn't pick one of the big hits. I picked my favorite song. Maybe not. It's one of my favorite songs. I went Devil in a New Dress. Killer Brick Rossburst, Killer Sample. Kind of goes crazy as well. Really one
I
of my
feel like
favorite
that's
songs of
one
all
of the
time.
more popular tracks on there.
No, but it's not Power. It's not
Yeah,
even
it's not
Runaway.
power. It's not power. It's not runaway, but it's Devil in
It's
a New
it's
Dress.
top five, but it's not
Yeah.
like
No, I got what you're saying.
it's not
Just
number
fucking
one.
with.
Not
Yeah.
even All the Lights. Like there's bigger songs.
So that is what comes to mind when I think of a Red album. But I wanted to go in a different direction. We had watching movies with the sound off with Mac Miller in consideration as well. Hellboy by Lil Peep. Ultimately, though, I landed on "Walk It Like I Talk" or "Walk It Talk It" by Migos, featuring
Mm,
Drake. 2018 slapper there. That song was everywhere.
that was a huge song, iconic music video. I remember like that being a song that was always on the aux at parties I was at. Like those that year, it was a big hit for sure. I like that track. Don't find myself going back to it too much, but when it comes on, I'm like, okay, like I remember I have good memories with this. So yeah,
Yeah,
I like that.
I feel like this is like the most different directions we've gone every time. It's we don't have like even the matched up tracks or like give off the same vibe and everything. So I'm interested to see how this is gonna play out.
I think this is going to be the best matchup yet. Like I think this will be the closest result. I think this will be a 4-3. Don't know who could win. It could be either way. Uh, I like my picks obviously, but there's some of yours that I'm like, okay, I like that. I respect that. Like obviously Smuckers, I wanted to go with that, so I like that you picked that. There's a couple others too. So yeah, I think you did a good job this time. Obviously, that pat myself on the back, but I think I did a good job. So excited to see what the
Uh,
people think. That's ultimately what matters.
Yeah, I'm just interested to see how the vibes play out. Obviously, I felt like we were somewhat in this boat last time, and the vibes didn't play out my way. So maybe it's my time this year or this go round.
Maybe. I definitely don't think a 7-0 is going to happen again. So we'll see. Yeah, something would have to go pretty bad for that to happen. It's gonna be a good one though. So obviously, if you guys have been around, you know that the day this episode drops, the polls are gonna be live on our Instagram. We'll try to get them up around noon. So make sure to go vote. We need you to vote. We need to, get everybody's voices heard and make sure that, the best song wins and the best aux holder wins. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
Moving on though to the releases this week, we have albums from Lil Baby, Mavi, T Grizzly, MIA, G Herbo, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and the 1975. What are you most excited to hear out of all these?
I mean, there's nobody here that I'm like going really crazy
Yeah, no, I'm
for.
not.
I think it's Mavi probably of the bunch. I think Mavi's pretty underrated. I like his music. Other than that, I've definitely had a Red Hot Chili Peppers phase. Like I went through the phase
Yeah,
where I was bumping the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I specifically remember it was summer 2016. Like there was a lot of music I was bumping. I feel like that was, a big time for like music discovery and going back to old stuff and catching up. Obviously, a lot of new stuff was coming out. You had all the Lils, you had Lil Yachty, Lil Uzi. Everybody was going crazy in 2016. But I remember the Red Hot Chili Peppers dropped an album I was bumping some singles off of that. I remember I went to visit our cousin Teresa in Vermont, and I remember on the plane I was listening to a lot of Red Hot Chili Peppers. So
What
got some ties in there.
what I always associate Red Hot Chili Peppers with, so you have the summer vibe. Every big snowfall, I always think of Snow by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And
Okay,
that just reminds me like of a day off school. You're like driving around, going to your grandparents' house or something like that. So they
that's
always,
valid.
yeah, they would 96.5. That'd always be turned up there. So
They got some different vibes. So yeah, I think that can their music can give you a lot of different feelings.
yeah, of course.
What are you most looking forward to though?
I'm really excited for the Baby album.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I feel like the singles they chose haven't been the hottest, but I put my trust in President Baby. So
It's valid. Yeah, I think the track list came out and it looks promising. I think there's gonna be some good tracks on there for sure. So we'll see. Definitely have to give our thoughts on that next week though.
definitely, they're kind of overloading me with some rap bangers here lately, or some trap bangers with the Quavo and Takeoff projects. So and then this now, so I'm gonna have slappers on deck for Halloween.
Yeah, for Aux Battle number 5, you're gonna be strapped too. So I've not gone back to that Quavo and Takeoff project yet though, so I
You're
need to
missing
give that a
out.
listen.
Like I feel like it's getting pretty well perceived. On Twitter. We obviously get a lot of the same have a lot of the same following and everything there. So um, I've seen good vibes everywhere. I enjoyed it. So
Yeah, I have only seen good things honestly, but I just have not, it's like given the chance to sit down and give it a full listen. So got to make sure I do that.
yeah, I think it'd be like a good car ride. If you have a car ride back to somewhere, you're always on the move. So
Yeah, I'm kind of like it has to be the right car ride for me to want to
yeah.
listen to new music. Like if it's too late at night, too early in the morning, I'm gonna be like dozing off. I gotta listen to music I know. But if it's like
Yeah, no,
middle
I
of the
feel
day,
that.
I can do new music. It just depends. But yeah, I'll definitely give it a listen.
I remember I can't remember where I had to drive. I think it was up to a Cubs game last year when Donda released, and that was just like the perfect car ride for me. No, it wasn't too early in the morning or anything. It was just a random Sunday, obviously, when it came out. So that was an enjoyable car ride.
My Donda experience was it dropped on the Sunday I was coming back from Boston, from
Yeah.
Harvard, from No Label. So I listened to it on the plane ride back, fell asleep during it. So my first experience with Donda did not go very well, but I mean it's a long album,
Yeah,
so you can't blame me on that
you had that
on the plane.
academics. What was he listening to? Was it Astro World where he fell asleep?
I don't remember. I know the video you're talking about, but I don't remember what project he's listening to.
I have to make this point every time we bring up Donda, or like try to every time we bring it up. Donda is it's underrated. There's so many. It the only thing that hurts it is too long, but there's a lot of bangers on there, a lot of good tracks on there. So
No, when we were at the Pusha T concert, waiting for IDK to come out to open, Levi and I were talking about Donda. I don't remember what got us on Donda, but we were talking about it, and we went through the track list, and we were like saying, okay, like bump that, or I'm skipping that, and it was more bumps than not. Like,
and like the songs you were bumping are very good tracks too.
yeah, I mean, like I love like Praise God,
Like I'll always get,
Jail.
yeah, like you'll
There's
get
hits
those
on
tracks
there.
coming up, and then out of fucking left field, 2 weeks later you got fucking Hurricane as well. So I mean, songs like that, Life of the Party, Come to Life.
Ugh, Life of the Party is just different. Off the
Donda
grid
is
though.
deep.
I mean, yeah, it's just it is pretty good. Like there are like if it was 12 to 16 tracks, I think it'd be good.
I think we'll talk about it one day. I'll let this serenade more. Obviously, it's still only been a year, but when we do a Kanye West album ranking, we'll get into it.
I think we're going to be kind of far off when we do the ranking on that, but
It's
we'll
still
see.
got some time to
We
serenade,
still got some time. We'll see, but I
Yeah.
mean, oh, I don't know. Uh we'll see. It's solid. It's not crazy, but it's solid. But yeah, I talked about the features and the track list for this little baby project. It's gonna feature Young Thug, Nardo Wick, Future, and more. Which feature are you most looking forward to?
I gotta say Nardo here. he kills it. Like I just keep thinking back to his live performance. That was one of the memorable ones from New York this time around, and then in Miami he killed it as well. So I mean he's a rising star for sure.
Okay, yeah, that's valid. I know you're a fan of Nardo. You're rocking with Nardo. I'm going with Future here. Yeah, I think Future is just really him a lot of the times, more often than not. I think he comes through pretty well on the features. I think him and Baby can do their thing together. So excited for that one. All right. Next news here. Poland by Lil Yachty. We were talking last episode. I said if this comes to streaming services, it could be in my Spotify Wrapped. It could, it's a hit. I love Poland. I think we were, predicting the future a little bit because it did come to streaming services this week. And we got the Lyrical Lemonade music video to accompany it.
Were we
Shortest
predicting the
Lyrical Lemonade
future?
video probably ever. Some random, appearances by Babytron, Zach Bia. It was a random video, but it was pretty cool. I mean, I'm glad to have it on streaming services now too, though. My biggest complaint is the cover art. I get
They
it. They went
switched
with the
it. They
poll.
switched it.
They switched it.
Yeah, it's tough now. There is like a Twitter concept.
Okay, you're getting my live reaction. Wait, what is it? What's it? Is it? It's not this.
No, go to Apple Music.
Okay. So yeah, I was
And
on Spotify.
Once again, Spotify is a step behind.
I guess. So yeah, on Spotify, it's currently the Poland on the map with, purple. Okay, they went with the Twitter concept. That one is hard. If you're looking at home, on YouTube, we just showed it. Okay, yeah, I saw that on Twitter, and I was like, that is fire. Like, I wish that was the cover.
And
Uh, and I'm glad it is now.
yeah, no, that's super cool to see. A Twitter Twitter concept, and it's a good picture. So I
It
think it's
is. It's
deserving of
so
the
fire.
cover.
It's so fire. It's way better than just, you know, the Poland on the map. It was fine. But I was gonna say we definitely were gonna have to have it in the album art tier list next time because it's just okay. That one is definitely also still gonna have to be in the album art tier list, but it's gonna be a different spot than the Poland on the map was gonna be.
Definitely. I'm curious to see, what this song charts at. It's obviously going crazy on social media and everything. So we'll tune in next week for that update.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, it's already got millions of streams on Spotify, SoundCloud, all this stuff. So I think it's got a very strong chance to make an entrance in the Hot 100 somewhere. So we'll see. It'd be wild if Poland went like top 5 or something. Like
Yeah, that's
it.
what seeing where the limit's at, seeing where the sky is.
Yeah,
So
I don't think it's got number one potential. I don't think it'll overpass like Harry Styles, Bad Habit, any of those songs. But I think that people are really loving it. It's a very polarizing song. You either love it or you hate it. I love it. I would love to see it get that high. So yeah, we'll see.
yeah, we'll have to keep you guys locked in on that. So
All right, moving on to the next news here. Got to give a little update on Kanye. Last time we talked, Kanye banned Instagram, banned on Twitter. He's, I saw he was even posting on Facebook the other day. I did not get on to confirm that, but I saw on Twitter that he was posting on Facebook. May or may not be true. Pretty funny if it is true. But he was scheduled to appear on LeBron James' podcast, The Shop. They recorded the episode, but it was scrapped. The people are never going to see it. He made some anti-Semitic comments. They just really didn't want to give Kanye that platform to seem like they were supporting what
yeah,
he was saying, and I
understandably
respect the
so.
move. Yeah,
I respect it, but I would love to have seen the interview. The Shop, it always every time I think of it, I think of the Drake. After the whole Pusha T thing, he's like, I just didn't want to let you down when Drake's talking to LeBron. There's
yeah,
obviously some iconic music moments from that when LeBron James created the deluxe album.
that one's
That's
different.
another.
Shout to
That
LeBron.
one
He's
is
really
so.
a visionary.
That one always kills me.
Yeah, that one's so fire. Yeah, the shop is pretty solid. I thought the episode with Kanye would be pretty good. Wish they maybe would have dropped it, but edited parts where he was saying out of pocket stuff out. But who knows? Who knows how Kanye is doing these days? It could have been out of pocket the entire episode. Nothing was really usable. I mean, that's
Yeah,
definitely a realistic possibility. Um, my
we'll never
favorite,
know though.
you never know though. My favorite shot moment is when Donald Glover's on it and he's like, "I am petty." He's talking about how petty he is, And then you haven't watched it yet, but you got to watch Atlanta. There's an episode that just shows how petty he is. He like gets kind of like racially profiled by an airport worker,
Mhm.
and then he like hires a whole bunch of people to trick her into thinking that she's going to be an author and she's going to have like a book reading and stuff. And like, so she's reading her book, her children's book for these kids, and like she's just getting trashed by these kids and she's crying and it's just a whole thing. And then you find out later that Donald's character had set it all up, but you don't know the whole time. You don't know that he set it up. You're just like trying to
Oh,
put the pieces together.
well,
So
now I won't watch the show because I get the whole gist of it now.
I
So
know,
you
ruined
spoiled it all. So
one episode for you though. There's a lot of other ones. It's still a good episode because I, gave you a 15-second synopsis of it, but it's great. You got to watch Atlanta.
definitely that's in the works. I was seeing ads for the last season starting, so maybe once it's all out, I can get to that. So
Yeah, I think it finishes like the middle of next month for good, which is kind of crazy because they did 2 seasons this year, and then there was like a 4-year gap between the other
the thing
seasons.
is, the thing with it is too, I've like been considering watching it, throughout this year, but I feel like every time I feel like I've said this too on the show on the podcast before. When someone tells me to watch a show, that automatically just moves it back.
I respect it. That's kind of how I'm with like listening to albums. Like, if I was like, oh, you gotta listen to it. It depends on the person. Like, if I value their opinion, I'm definitely gonna check it out. So
I
that
value
just
your
goes to
opinion and
I said
everything
that
too,
just
but
goes
that
to
is
show
just
that you
my
don't
personality.
value.
That's
That just
just
goes
my
to show that you're not rocking with my suggestions for TV shows.
like,
I
hey,
told you to
bro,
watch
I'm gonna get
something
it.
bad,
I'm
I
gonna get
guess.
to it for real, bro.
I guess, but I guess the same thing can be said about. I said I was gonna rewatch The Great Gatsby because I know you guys rock with that. Haven't got around to it, so I think when you watch Atlanta, I'll watch The Great Gatsby. That should be a good
All right,
trade.
all
It's a good
right.
trade off.
We'll see here. Moving on though, last piece of news here. Sticking with Kanye, J.P. Morgan / Chase Bank is forcing Kanye and the Yeezy brand to move all assets from their bank to a different bank. They can no longer bank with Chase or J.P. Morgan. That's
That's kind of
nuts.
interesting. That's wild. Like, that's a different level. Like, I
You
wonder if
know,
they've done this to other people in the past. Um, I wonder if they have, ties to the Jewish community. I wonder what the motive is. I saw something about this on Twitter, but didn't look too much into it. So, yeah, pretty crazy though, because that's like kind of extreme. Like, that is
yeah,
a big
there's
deal.
like potentially billions of dollars in that. So, um, I don't know. Last week I said it's getting harder to defend Kanye, but as a Chase Sapphire preferred credit card holder and as a Chase Bank user, I will be moving my services before the end of November as well.
Oh wow, that's commitment. I respect that as a Kanye fan. From one Kanye fan to another, I respect it. You're like LeBron. You're gonna have your little TV announcement of where you're taking your talents. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see. But that's pretty crazy.
American Express, Discover. If you're listening, I'm listening to new credit card offers. So
Run us a bag, and we will give you a shout out. And a preferred member will be joining your bank. But yeah, guys, like we said, recording a little bit earlier in the week. So not too much news has happened since our last recording. Not too much music is slated to drop. Like we always say, though, if we're recording early, things change, surprise drops happen. So, you'll know what drops are coming. We'll touch on any big ones that might happen next week. Next week we'll be back though with another banger, of course. Album artwork tier list number 2. The first one was, one of my favorite episodes we've ever done. I love album artwork. I think a good album cover can really elevate an album. And a really bad one, I don't think it can entirely ruin an album if the music's still good. But I do enjoy good album cover. I'll leave it at that. So it's gonna be a good one. Let us know what covers we need to do in the comments on YouTube, in the DMs on Second Avenue Pod, Instagram. And yeah, it's gonna be a good one. So make sure to follow us and stay tuned. We'll be back next Monday.
Yep, that wraps it up. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.